Wow. So did you ever tell your mom this stuff was going on?
I decided to like baby step into it, and I told her about actually it was my stepdad and my stepbrother had done something to me, and she reacted completely wrong.
How did she react?
In January I got engaged.
Oh,
Somebody had been dating.
This January?
In last year.
Okay. I was about to say.
January I got engaged.
Okay.
But we were having some arguments, so it didn't work out. In April we got in an argument.
So real quick, what were y'all arguing about?
Something childish, but it's still the principle.
Well, tell me. I do hope that I hope that this conversation sparks a conversation with y'all.
I hope it does not.
Well, I don't believe. I know, but here's the
thing.
thing. I don't believe that you truly feel that way. I believe. What's up, YouTube? I need you to take 2 seconds and go subscribe to my 2 new channels, Atlanta Street Interviews B-Side, where all of the videos that don't make it to the main channel will be. Also, Marcus from Atlanta Street Interviews Daily Vlog, where you can follow my journey as a father, fitness enthusiast, sales manager, and of course, content creator. And you might even get some tea on the latest person I'm dating. Go follow those 2 channels right now. Now back to the content. What's up, YouTube? Atlanta Street Interviews out here with another one. So we got a young lady with us today. How you doing today, miss?
I'm good.
All right. So are you homeless?
Yes.
Okay, and so how old are you?
31.
31. And so how long have you been homeless?
In a way, kind of after COVID, I became homeless, but I was staying in hotels and I had my own business, so I
get it, kind of levels
I was comfortable,
of homelessness.
yeah, but like actually it was January.
Okay, so what was it that happened in COVID that, well, you talking about this January?
This January.
When you had to come out of the hotels and all that stuff? Mm-hmm. Okay, things kind of went left?
Yeah.
Okay, so basically I'm imagining that was just due to finances, just kind of not being able to keep up with.
I actually was staying with family last year, and I have not had the best relationship with my family, so it was a decision of leaving a very comfortable place because of mental kind of abuse kind of thing, and it's not just a good environment. I have a daughter, so.
Okay, so you say mental abuse? What type of mental abuse are we talking about?
They're like extremely controlling and just verbally abusive kind of thing. So.
Okay. You say you have a daughter. Is that your only child?
Yep.
Okay. How old?
7.
7. Okay. All right. And so, as far as it goes, where are you guys staying now?
So there's a shelter here.
You don't have to say which one, but you're in a shelter, basically.
Okay. So there's a shelter, yeah, for women and.
Okay. Okay. As far as the dad of the child, is he active and present in her life? Mm-hmm. Okay. So he's active and present. Mm-hmm. He helps you guys out financially when you need to and things like that.
Yeah. For them.
Good deal. Good deal. Why hasn't he like said, hey, let her come stay with me for now? And
he actually did in a way, but we had a situation of like where there was some abuse a while back, and I just feel like it's important when you have domestic violence in a relationship to not return back to that. Our relationship has been pretty good since I did like report it to the courts, and he hasn't touched me since, but like it's still like I don't want to put my daughter back in that situation.
Well, how many years ago was that?
Like 5 years ago.
5 years?
But I'm not gonna go back to that situation. So
well, and I guess it's one thing to not go back, right? Mm-hmm. As far as in a relationship, but it's another thing to, I guess, because what are your thoughts on how that plays with your daughter? In other words, like if he wants to be more involved, or you know what I'm saying, he wants to house her while you guys are in this position of.
So he's not in the position to actually like house her by himself. Mostly because of his work schedule, and he does have other children. She's his 4th child, and he has more after her, so I don't think he really has that position to do that. But he was saying like, and it's still a possibility that he was going to get it because he's living with his mother right now.
He's living with his mom. Mm-hmm. Okay, I get it.
So he was saying he would get an apartment. I should know, like 34 or something like that. He's a few years older than me.
3 years older than you?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Were you guys like in a relationship when y'all were dealing, or were y'all just kind of screwing around?
We were in a very serious relationship. However, when I break up with somebody, I like let all the details go, so I don't even remember his birthday anymore. So, but I do remember he's like a few years older than me. I was a freshman. He was a senior when we first kind of started talking.
In high school or college?
In high school.
In high school?
So I know there's that age gap. I just can't remember exactly what. I let
Okay.
all that go. I don't care anymore. So.
Okay, because I mean, you say that he had kids before you and after. Did you know this when you guys hooked up? Or?
Yes, I didn't think that. We were in a serious relationship, but I also was seeing how the relationship was going downhill when I finally got pregnant. That I didn't think I was gonna become the mother of his child, but it happened. So So
You didn't think you was gonna become it? Why not?
I just did not. I thought I was invincible. When you're young, I thought I was invincible to getting caught up. So.
Okay. And so, all right. So that's what's going on. Have you ever been married?
Nope.
No. Okay. So let's just start from the beginning. So, where are you from?
Am I doing okay though?
You're doing great. Stop it.
Okay.
Where are you from?
So I moved here from New York City.
From New York?
In September.
In September?
And I have moved around quite a bit, so to say where I'm from is kind of hard.
Okay. Were you a military kid?
Nope.
Okay.
My mom had us traveling a lot growing up, so I'm very comfortable with traveling.
A little bit of here, a little bit of there.
Yeah.
Okay. And so growing up, did you have both mom and dad in the household?
No, my parents divorced when I was around 8.
8?
So my mom,
Was your dad, was he still active and present in your life after that, or did it kind of fall off a little bit?
He was in and out, and then high school time he completely was out, and then when I became an adult he's came back in my life. So I have good contact with him now. If I want to call him right now, I can call him and talk to him. However, I don't really keep contact with either one of my parents anymore.
Why not?
My father just because he was in and out, and my mom because she was kind of abusive growing up. So, and I've tried to rekindle
physically, mentally,
all of it, but I tried to rekindle the relationship since being an adult, and it doesn't seem to
doesn't seem to quite click.
And for my daughter, I would like to not have relationships that are going to be harmful for her.
I get it. Have you ever told your mom how you feel? Have you ever
Yeah.
What was how did that go?
It hasn't gone well because she's in denial of a lot of the things that she's done. That it's some of the stuff she did was very extreme. That it's how could you deny something like that?
Well, give me an example.
I feel I am going to therapy actually right now to kind of deal with it. It's kind of it kind of shuts me down a little bit, but it's been very physical. Let's just say I've been very hurt before, and it's when you literally physically hurt somebody where they're bleeding or bruised, and then you deny that you did that, kind of thing. So
yeah, a lot of parents have egos, and so when you confront them with their faults or when you give them critiques, they can't take it.
Yeah.
And so we see that a lot. We see that a lot, especially with moms, unfortunately,
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna ask, right? Because I don't know, I feel some type of energy, but growing up, did anything ever happen to you, any type of sexual assault or anything like that?
Yeah. Unfortunately, I dealt
What
with
age
it a
did that
lot. In my experience, it started at 4 is how it kind of has gone for me. So.
And so, who was it that was doing that?
You did say the conversation was gonna flow like that. Family, friends, kind of thing.
Was it family that lived in the house with you?
Not always.
Okay, so kind of in and out.
And unfortunately, it was consistent. So that's why I said it started at 4. And
what age did it go up until?
Till I was an adult, and then when I became
till you was an adult?
Yeah, and when I became an adult, then I was in control of,
So you talking 18 or even further past 18?
17, about 17, almost 18. Then I was able to because I know I can run away if I have to or whatever.
Right.
So yeah.
So wait, so this started at the age of 4 and it went through your whole childhood? Because you say you guys moved around a lot. So was this an uncle or something?
I moved around a lot. My mom introduced us to traveling. She's very educated, so she wanted us to have
to travel. Okay. You're talking about traveling.
I moved around once I became an adult.
Okay, I got you. But you used to travel and stuff when you was little.
So I'm comfortable with traveling.
So here's the thing, right? I have 2 daughters, 2 teenage daughters. And so, yeah, I'm interested in hearing how these things occur. and who the perpetrators are, just so that I know, right? And for the audience, it helps us to understand how these things happen to our little girls, because we don't want to hear about it when they're adults. We want to stop it when they're kids.
So for me, it was like family friends that were babysitting, and
was there one specific person though? Because it sounds like from
there was a specific person, but I haven't spoken really of it, so that I wouldn't want to like really reveal. But they know who they are. But it was family members, or like family friends that babysat. It was also like I had a stepdad and boyfriends and stuff like that.
So
my
wow,
mom,
so okay,
like,
wow. So did you ever tell your mom this stuff was going on?
I decided to like baby step into it, and I told her about actually it was my stepdad and my stepbrother had done something to me, and she reacted completely wrong.
How did she react?
So it was like my stepbrother had did something to me, and then my stepdad had did something to me, but the severity of it was like my stepbrother did something way worse than me that literally physically hurt me more, that I wanted to go after him first, you know, as far as like making a case of it. And she was more like just angry that my stepdad did that she was just like more about going after him when he did something inappropriate, but he did not physically hurt me, versus my stepbrother physically
I'm imagining your stepdad probably did
just,
something like touch you or something like that.
Yeah, and then
your stepbrother, he did
something
more
physically
the full thing type deal.
And I wanted to go after him, and she would just like it seemed like almost like a jealousy thing of like she was just more angry at him.
At your stepdad
like,
for even, I guess, desiring you in that way.
Yeah, and I was just like, she didn't care about my feelings or anything. Yeah, that's why it hurt. So I was like, she didn't care about my feelings or anything. So I just shut it down. I was just like, she was like, but we have to do this because he could be touching more little girls. I kind of said not my problem, because like she's not helping me or caring about my feelings or anything. So I didn't tell her about anything else past that. Now I did tell my brothers, and my brothers have confronted her about it. And she just, I don't know, she just brushes it off. Like when they confronted her, she just brushes it off. So it's like, yeah.
How many brothers do you have?
2.
Are they both older?
No, they're younger than me.
Younger?
I'm oldest in my household. My dad has more kids, but like in my household, I grew up the oldest.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You know, was your very first time like with one of your abusers, like your stepbrother or something like that?
No.
Okay, so at least that was something that you chose to do. What age did you choose to do that at?
We have to do that?
Well, the only reason I'm asking is because of what already had been happening to you. So that's why I'm asking. Like, did it make you do that earlier than you would have, is what I'm trying to figure out.
Probably did, yeah. So I would say 14 was like, 14.
I get it.
Mm-hmm. But I realized once I did, I was like, oh, this stuff, this ain't for me. So then I waited until I was a senior to start, engaging more. So
Okay. So I was about to say, you ended up in high school, right? You sound definitely articulate, educated, all that stuff.
Yeah.
You ended up graduating?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Any college after that?
Yep.
Okay. What school?
No. I'm very private about that. So
okay. You don't want to shout out your college?
No.
Oh man.
You
ain't representing. Was it an HBCU or a PWI?
No, it wasn't. Unfortunately, it's a private college.
Okay,
so,
it's a private
Christian college.
Okay, well, yeah. I mean, if it's a small school like that, I ain't trying to bust you out.
No, it's a private Christian college. Yeah. When people know where you went to school, then they can search you really. And I have become more as I've gotten older. I like to be incognito with my lifestyle. I don't have social media at all.
Listen, I wish I could be incognito. I used to be.
Yeah.
I used to be. I'm not no more.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not no more.
And I used to be very much on social media because I had a business that was on social
What was your Instagram?
I had a bunch of them, but the last one was baby brown skin, like my personal one. But I don't have.
Tell you what, you definitely have some beautiful skin.
Oh, thank you.
I know that you got makeup on and stuff, but I could tell even under that you have beautiful skin.
Oh,
so,
thank you.
Absolutely. All right, so okay, so that was a lot during childhood. And I hear that you're currently in therapy for this stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. What effect do you think that's having? The therapy.
I used to be very casual and like joke about my like trauma, because I started therapy in 2019. However, since then, and I took a break for a little bit when I was moving around, but I started therapy recently again, and I realized like I don't really like to talk about my trauma anymore. So right now, this interview is like very like, for me, I'm not like comfortable with it always because I don't talk about it anymore. Instead, I focus on my present or my like near past because it's not as bad anymore, and I don't really allow like abuse in my life anymore. So it's easier to deal with.
And so I'll say this, right? And I totally get that, right? Mm-hmm. But I personally feel like if things are still in there, if they're still bubbling on the under part and way in the back of your head somewhere.
But most people don't ask these questions.
Well, and that's why I do.
Okay.
So that we can kind of unroot that stuff and get it up out of you.
Right.
Okay. And so I believe that conversations are the spark to that a lot of times. To saying, you know what, let me confront this and let me just get rid of it.
Right.
Because just kind of burying it and pretending like it's not really there, or that it comes up at the worst times. It seems like those traumas seem to surface at the worst times. Like as soon as you got something going on, and then boom, that trauma surfaces. So that's all. I'm just trying to kind of have these conversations. The audience gets to kind of hear how these things happen to folks, right? And then also you get to talk about it, maybe get it off your chest a little bit, help to, like I say, take the power that it has away from you. I mean, take the power and put it back to you. Give it back to you. You know what I'm saying? So
turn your weakness into power.
Right. So I hope that this isn't too, like we're gonna do a big hug after this. Okay. All right. So real quick. So at this point, because I was gonna ask, like I say, what effect do you think all that trauma had on you at this point in your life? Like, what do you think is, as you can look back, what would you say the effect has been?
So I did grow up in a really, despite everything that's happened, a very religious household. So I know there's a scripture that says like what the devil meant for bad, God takes and turns it into good. So I feel like it's made me incredibly, I don't want to say the word is strong because I have a very soft personality, but it's
resilient.
Maybe that's it, because like I'm very casual about a lot of things because it's like at least I don't have any abuse in my life, nobody's bothering me.
So it's giving you the perspective to be able to kind of appreciate even the little things, or sometimes things that people may take for granted.
Yeah, and like I've had jobs before where they're like, why aren't you stressed out? I'm like, nothing bad is truly happening. What customers are upset?
Tell you, man, that perspective is everything, man.
Yeah. So I am able to stay at peace in a lot of situations that people don't understand. Like, how are you so chill? I mean, nothing's happening.
I'll say this. You certainly have, like you say, that soft energy, very feminine, all like that. Are you not in a relationship? Are you not like, I know that you're in this position of, that you're in right now, but is that, like, what's your relationship life been like for these past few years?
For the last few years, so in April, that's how I actually became like, so I've been off and on like homeless, but I was like in the hotels. But in April, or let's say in January, I got engaged. Somebody had been dating.
This January?
In last year.
Okay. I was about to say.
January, I got engaged.
Okay.
But we were having some arguments, so it didn't work out. In April, we got in an argument.
So real quick, what were y'all arguing about?
Something childish, but it's still the principle.
Well, tell me.
He wanted me to meet his family and friends, and I had like this intuition that I don't know what it is actually, that there was a hesitancy that I was not ready for it, because I think that maybe there was something superficial about it that I wasn't ready to be on display like that. So I was dragging my feet to go do it, and we were running late, and I was like, I'll just do it another day because I can always just meet your friend. They meet every week to like hang out, right? So
right, like Sunday dinner with my
that
family.
Kind of thing, yeah.
Uh-huh.
So I was like, I can always do it another time, and I think he got frustrated because he really wanted to introduce me to them, and we started arguing, and I usually have a very soft energy, but like you said, sometimes it bubbles.
Lord.
I started slamming doors. And
what?
I did. And he's like, don't slam doors in my house.
So you got to acting a fool?
I would just
slam doors. That sounds like that was totally your fault. Now, I get your gut instinct, but you got to communicate. And you got to say, well, this is how I feel.
Said, I can always do it another time.
No, that's not communicating. That's
not.
an excuse. That's pushing it off.
Oh, okay.
And that's not what you were actually feeling. You didn't communicate what your truth was, is that you had a hesitancy, you don't know why, but can we just put it off another week or two or whatever until I feel a little more comfortable?
So I was not very communicative. So I'm slamming doors, and then he said, "You get out of my house if you're gonna slam doors." And I feel like you want to marry me, but you're saying get out my house, and you know I don't have anywhere to go. And I have a daughter. He immediately, I think it was like 3 minutes. He said, "You don't gotta leave," but I said, "No, I'm leaving because you shouldn't have said those words." What? I mean, if you want to marry somebody, you don't say those words. Either way.
But also, if you want to marry somebody, you should meet their family.
I was going to. I met his parents. I met both his parents already. That was the important part. I met his parents.
Okay, so when was the last time y'all talked?
So we still talk.
Okay, so y'all are like,
we're friends. We're good. We're good.
Well,
friends.
but does he know that you're in this position of homelessness?
He does, and he was like, "You should come back." However, I'm not sure if we're like gonna continue our relationship in the way it was,
In that
so I'm
regard.
like, because at the end of the day, I still feel like you know my position, and for you to say get out, it's like angrily saying get out of my house is like, I feel like that's an extreme, just to me.
Well, you didn't feel like slamming doors and stuff was an extreme either?
No, because I could slam a door.
So, I mean, were you slamming it to where it come off the hinge?
No.
So just slamming like, "Rrr."
And I'm usually very soft, so I think for him it was just like, he wanted to like show that moment of being the man and putting his foot down. Like, yeah.
I get it. Well, I hope that y'all are able to kind of, talk it through, maybe get some stuff back together. Out here, I'll say this. It's difficult to do things by yourself out here these days. The economy is not like how it used to be 20 years ago. Yeah, and I'm not saying you used to be in a relationship just for
like
that, but if it's something like that, you're right. That did sound silly.
There's more to it.
Okay,
so,
okay.
Of course,
okay.
there's obviously this was a cherry on top.
Cherry on top. Gotcha.
Yeah, there's more to it.
All right.
There was stuff that was adding up, and then this was the cherry on top.
I get it. When was the last time you talked to your mom, by the way?
Before I moved in I think it was September.
September?
Because I moved on my birthday down here, so it was like early September I talked to her last.
Does she know that you're in this position of homelessness?
She might be. That was the last time I talked to her because I was done at that point when she came to New York, where I was living in New York, and there was a huge fight, and I was like, yeah.
What was the fight about? I guess what you're saying, like the past and stuff like that? Or what was the fight about?
I feel like she was trying to start, because I was living with family in New York. I think she was trying to, I don't know, I'm not even positive, but it definitely wasn't, it was a negative. I think she was trying to start like a rift between me and my family members there. I think she might have been maybe upset that I was getting along with them, but I am not even positive. I just know that her coming up there was not, it was very weird. Even, I was staying with my grandmother. Even my grandmother was like, she's acting weird, because she was saying, come down here and meet me. Why can't she just come to the house? She's being weird. Like, it was, it was.
Meaning your grandmother, meaning her mom?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
It was weird.
If your mom were to happen to come across this video on YouTube, what do you think her thoughts and her reactions will be?
She's an attorney, so she's always used her powers to like bully. I would not be surprised if she would do that, or she'll just ignore it and pretend that it doesn't exist. So. Okay,
and we have permission to have you on YouTube, right?
Yes.
Okay, you say she's an attorney, so I just want to make sure we got that. Yeah. All right, so because do you think that she's going to be a little bit embarrassed about some of the stuff that you talked about, how she reacted when you told her about the things that happened to you when you was younger?
I think she'll be in denial about stuff, and I think she'll be defensive and in denial. Will she feel bad? Is the part that I don't think she'll maybe even possibly.
Sometimes when people know that it's a public conversation, they change their demeanor. They change the way that they come after it. And they're forced to maybe think about it from more of an objective standpoint. It's easy to kind of, defend yourself when it's just one-to-one, But when you know that there's other people that are going to have their opinions about it, then it tends to change the way that you think about stuff.
I think, though, when people change only because the public is around it, that's not really, it's not real.
Yeah, but it is, though, because here's the thing. Because it forces them to have to take a more objective standpoint, which may force them to say, okay, well, shit, I did fuck up. Like, let me be real about it. I did fuck up. And it's caused me to have a contentious relationship with my daughter.
Okay.
Do you think that there's a possibility that that may happen?
It may happen. It's none of my
She
business.
sounds like if she's an
does.
educated woman, right?
That's what you would think. Why? I mean, she is. She's very intelligent. I mean, I was just telling my friend that I was sitting over there with. I was just telling her, like, my mom graduated at 16, valedictorian, got a full ride scholarship, you know, to a really prestigious school, and then she became an attorney. And by then, she already had all of us. So she had 3 kids in law school. She's very smart, and I got to sit in a lot of her classes at law school with her. So she's very smart. So, but.
All right, shout out to mom, man. Shout out to mom.
No, I respect her really
and I do hope that you guys. I hope that this conversation sparks a conversation with
I
y'all.
hope it does not.
Well, I
I'm
don't
not
believe.
ready
I
to
don't.
talk about
I don't.
all
I
that
know,
stuff
but here's the
no
thing. I don't believe that you truly feel that way. I believe that you truly do want to have a good relationship with your mom. You're just at this point afraid that it won't happen, and so in order to shield yourself from that disappointment, you're gonna say stuff like, "Oh, I don't want to have the conversation, this and that." But the truth is that I think you do. So, is that more like kind of what the actual truth is?
I think, again, like, another way that all my trauma is affecting me is that, like, I only have room to hold so much. I don't think I have the room to hold that anymore. That I don't think I have the space for it, even if it comes about. I don't have room on my plate for it, so I don't think I can.
I get
really,
that.
In order to maintain,
Your inner homeostasis and
I
peace.
like myself. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
No.
wanna stay this
Listen,
way. I can't.
trust
I
me.
can't
I
hold
get
it,
it.
so, yeah.
I get it. So, well, listen, miss. Like I say, we really appreciate you taking the time answering all of our questions. If anybody out there wanted to reach out, help, or donate, do you have a way they could do that? Do you have social media, Cash App, anything like that?
Cash App.
What you got?
It's say the Cash App.
Yeah. What's your Cash App?
Once Upon a Time, but with 2 E's on the end.
Okay. So 2 E's on the end of it. So once upon a time, 2 E's in the end. Any IG or Facebook?
Nope.
No. All right.
Thank God.
Well-
I like being like, if you meet me in person, you meet me in person. Otherwise, like.
Yeah, I know that's right. Like I say, we really appreciate you. Definitely wish you nothing but the best out here. All right.
Thank you.
Make sure you have a good one, sweetie.
You too.
All right.